Hopefully the people whose ears we blew out don't catch up to us. Welcome back, guys. The time has finally come to go full E85 on the RCF, and to do that I need to update my port injectors to 750 cc's, and we have our injectors from Deechworks, and we also have a pump booster that we're going to install, as well as a larger crank pulley to increase the boost on the supercharger, and I already have a base map ready to go so we can run it afterwards. So let's go, let's get this started. Alright guys, before I get started with the injectors, I have to take off the brace, engine cover, and I will have to take off part of the supercharger piping, so all the carbon up here to make some room. Alright, a couple things we're gonna have to do is, one of them is remove this little safety clip here for the fuel line. Come on, and you just push it down and pull it out, and then we can remove the fuel line later when I put a piece of rag under there so we don't leak everywhere. I'm just gonna place this up here. I'm gonna take the injector modules out. The way you do that is you push this little pin here like that, and then you lift. See that? They have to completely come out. Come on, bro. There we go. Okay, you have to click it all the way in, I guess. Let me click this camera better. Alright. There we go. Looks like there's one more back here. There we go. Ooh, that's nice and tight. And this guy. Right there. These bolts I will be taking with me. I'm not going to put them back in the engine right now. I'll just take the whole bracket. Like that. Okay. In here. I'm just gonna unclip this slowly. There we go. And not too much fuel on this end, but I think on this end there might be. Alright, let that leak a little bit and then I'll wipe it with some water. Alright, so now we're gonna take off my ethanol analyzer lines. Those, if you guys don't know, are my Modsbymax custom fittings. These are all PTFE plug and play, so they will come off the same way that the original ones came off. So you just push the two buttons on the end, pull slightly, and then there we go. That leaks a little bit, but I'll let it keep leaking, and then there should be some fuel in this wire, so alright. This bottom one's going to be hard to contain because it's just kind of, it's a 90, so it's just going to leak down a little bit, but if you shove a rag down there, you'll be fine. There we go. Leaking out a little bit. We'll face this up, and I'll just get these out of the way for now. If I have to move them any further, I will, but they should be fine right now. Okay. Let's get this rag out of here. I've been putting a little bit of tape on the end, just so debris doesn't go in there. I said I was going to bag it, but I didn't. I'm going to bag the coolant lines though. There we go. There's also this connector here. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it should be taken out of here. Oh, that's for the high pressure pump. How does that come off? Because I'm going to have to lift this harness a little bit. Alright, let me take off the module first and then we'll deal with that. Okay, I'm going to get these coolant lines out of the way before I start making more headroom with all these harnesses. I need to move pretty much anything that will keep the fuel rail from popping up. So for now, we're just gonna move these clips over. Come on, bitch. All right. Ooh. Okay. Oh, still coming out. Fuck me. Okay, come on. There we go. There we go. Uh-oh. Is that gonna leak? Nope. Okay. Tear another piece of this. Get our money's worth out of this plastic. Alright, it looks like I'm gonna have to take off this line here. Not take off, but I have to loosen it because I can't get anything in here to remove that bolt for the fuel rail. So that leaves us no option. Oh, come on. This thing is really fucking pissing me off now. Come on. Make life easy for me. I guess if this was easy, everybody'd be fucking doing it, right? Right? How do I... Maybe I shouldn't use a deep socket like a fucking smart guy. There's our little baguette. There it is. A little wobble extension, maybe. I know I have a universal somewhere, but it's been MIA since I worked on Duke's car. Let's see if we can spin it by hand. Okay. What do we do with this? Where's the other one? Okay. I wish I could figure out how to get these off without breaking them. That'd be nice. That's our mission for this install. Okay. All right, definitely good enough now to be able to... Let me cut this. I'm so sick of it. Also, missing a bolt. You guys see what I did with it? Oh, it's up here. Okay, these little guys go on this coolant line. All right, let's cut this thing. I'm tired of it. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is remove all of the little clips here you see for the injector harness, so that I can pull the fuel rail off independently and leave this little guy, this little harness with the injectors. There we go. See, so now if I unbolt the injectors, I should be able to pop it off slowly, and then the injectors will be loose in there. There's also a clip back here. Yeah, you bitch. I've already unclipped this one here. And then after that, we have this little clip back here for this. This is a crossover line. It's a fuel line that goes from this rail to the other. Okay, this is what we got so far. All the little clips in here have been pushed in. I have taken this little guy off. We did the same thing on the other side. So I did move something here as well, just so that I can, the goal is to be able to pull this up slightly, just enough to get it off the injectors once we remove a couple of these bolts. So there's a 10 mil here, and I thought there was another one over here at the end. I did take off this vacuum line right here, which is just tucked in behind the fuel line here. So all that's left really before we can take the fuel rail out is this little crossover line. So we're gonna remove that, and I'm gonna take this safety clip off, and then we'll be able to remove this line, and we'll kind of fish it out one way or the other, and then we're all set to remove the fuel rails. All right guys, this little clip, you shove a little flathead right here, and you just pull it upwards, and that'll expose the buttons on the side so that you can squeeze both sides and pull it out. So yeah, I'm gonna shove a rag down there again and disconnect this hose and see if hopefully there's no clips between here and the back side. All right guys, I was having trouble getting this clip out. So the trick to getting these out easily is you push the little release tabs on the sides, and then if it doesn't want to come out, bring it in towards the connector, push harder, and then it'll slip right out. So now you can see that it's actually coming off the sleeve here, and there is fuel in there. All right, let me get a rag under there first before I pull it all the way off. So it looks like this tab is kind of on the way. It won't let me get that fuel line out. Nope, there we go. Okay. All right, and it's gonna just leak a little bit. There's kind of no way for me to get a rag down there, so I'm gonna have to just pour some water down there to dilute it. All right, I think this will be kind of the same way. So there we go. Brought the clip upwards so it's disengaged. Pushing the sides, pulling towards me, and then out. There we go. Okay. Be nice if I had another pair of hands. Let's see. Almost out. Come on. There we go. All right. We're officially off. Now I need to figure out how I'm gonna pull that. I might have to cut one end of that hose, so that means that it would not be salvageable, because I don't think there's room to tug on that back here. Alright guys, I'm gonna show you what I was working on real quick. I have a custom fuel line that I did, and the reason for that is because the car, the way that the fuel line is set up for the port injectors, is there's something kind of dumb going on. So you have the flow coming out of the firewall into the fuel rails. This rail has to fill in first, and then it travels over to this rail, and then it fills this rail up. So what we're doing to even out the pressure between the two is we're disconnecting this part here and we're capping it, cap, and then this part here, we're gonna Y the output right here, and then one is gonna go here and the other one's gonna go directly to the other fuel rail. And to do that, I had to make this line. And the reason it looks so crazy is because I want to use the OEM line that's here. That way, if I ever revert this all back to stock, this line would just reconnect back here. And it's kind of tucked in behind this whole area here. So this section here is just going to plug into the OEM line right here. And then it'll be easy to service. If anything leaks or needs to be replaced, it's all right there. I don't have anything hitting in the back. And I'm trying to find the fuel rail bolt. It's back here. There's two. Oh, it must be a 12. That's loose. I am pretty sure that these are held on very loosely, so the injectors just float in there. I don't think they're individually bolted on there. So they're either going to come out with the fuel rail or the fuel rail will come out by itself. So I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to take off the bolt first. God, is this coming out? Yeah, it's coming out by hand. There we go. Okay, this is out the way now. Come on, fuck off. Okay, now I think we can get these little guys out. Yeah, this thing is barely just in there. Okay, here are the injectors, and I can hear fuel in there. So one thing to note is I guess we didn't really have to take these harnesses out, so that wasn't necessary. Ooh, leaking. All right, let's fucking empty this out. And here, ooh, something just dropped. Ooh, this is the reason I was reaching in for these. Look at this. Ooh, okay. All right, let's get this before it falls back there somewhere. So we have new spacers. So these we're gonna keep here, and I'm gonna place this a little bit better. This would be all right. Before I take these off, I'm gonna go ahead and plug this while I have this easy to access. So here's my plug, and I already put Loctite on this. Make sure it's clean. So I do have the quick connects that go on here, but I'm just gonna use this guy. It'll be fine. And put this here. Okay, so this is the new one. This is the old one. It is a little bit longer, which is why we have these included on here. And then I'm trying to find out what the harness is for, so I'm assuming this is for this, and then push off a little bit. There we go. Okay, there's a little bit of fuel on this too. Yeah, so that's all this is. Little adapter for this. So that means the harness is gonna stay where it is, and then these will just kind of be tucked in there like that. So plug this guy in. So we're gonna go without it. Okay. What's the best way to do this? Where? There we go. And then pull this off. So there's number 2. Okay. Clip this guy in ahead of time. And this went like this. The good thing is they only plug one way, so you can't get them reverse ordered. Oh, this is going in there kind of rough. There we go. It's a little scary. Which way should we face these? Face it this way. I hope we have enough room. I should go check the other ones. And then we can have the harness back here. Alright, so this one we're going to face this way. Like that. And then plug this guy in. There we go. It's probably the easiest way to take these off without breaking them. So it's out of the way, like that. I'm not really sure if this matters, if this little hat here has to all face the same way. Because you notice how this has a little notch, and this is notched so that they're this way, all of them. So I think they all have to be this way, actually, like that. Yep, they all have to be that way, because all of them are notched. This wouldn't be notched if this didn't matter. So in order to face them all the same way, we are going to have to... Why is this one like that? Maybe this turns in there. No? Okay. So that one's okay. This one's okay. This one's okay. And this one needs to face down. Okay. All the little black pieces. These are like little spray guards, I think. Alright, there's got to be a way to hold these so that they don't move around and face a different way. So let me see if I can figure something out, and then I'll start recording again. Alright guys, I'll show you guys real quick what I did. I tie strapped the original connectors kind of back onto themselves so that they're out of the way. See if you can see. And so now all of these are faced in the original position. I don't know how important this is, to be honest, but I don't want to change anything from the way that it is, just in case. I'm sure that these make the spray go a certain way, because you have two valves on each side when you go and peek into the ports there. So it's probably just splitting the spray, maybe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure there's guys out there that know way more about fuel injectors than I do. Doing YouTube stuff's always a little, especially for the first time, it's a little, I'm like one fuck up away from losing my shit, basically. I did go ahead and put my cap on, like I showed you guys earlier, facing the screw this way so I can have access to it. And yeah, so we're pretty much at a point where I need to grease these bushings. And so we're going to do that real quick. Much of it is on the inside. These little crevices aren't really the cleanest. So if you're not careful, you'll drop some stuff in there. And you don't want to end up gouging your cylinder walls. Okay, now this is the way it goes. We're going to check these one last time. Looks like they're all good. Okay, this has to be in there. Really careful because there's a harness on the way over here. But I don't want to bump the injectors anywhere. Let me just check real quick, make sure the connectors are all going to be okay. And it looks like they are. So now that I know that the connectors are okay, they're going to clear. I was worried about them facing that way and hitting the manifold. But we're going to just put just a little tiny bit of pressure on them until they seat. Like that. There we go. Okay, this side's seated all the way, so that's good. I felt it hit bottom. There we go. This one's seated. And I think these ones should be seated as well. Alright, so these are the new spacers that Rafi sends out, and they are a 6mm Allen now instead of 12mm. So one of the sucky parts is you can't, these are aluminum, so you can't use a magnet, and you gotta kind of just hope that you can get it in the right spot by squeezing your fingers back there. Oh, come on. dude. Okay. It's kinda in there. Kinda in there. Okay, let me go. There we go. And alright, I think we're in. Where is my, here it is. It's weird that there's no washer with this. Huh. And look at the difference. I don't know that this will go all the way down. But also, with the spacer, there's plenty of thread there. So, let's see. There we go, now it's threading in. Yep, I checked all the other ones. All the bolts and the spacers are the same size, so I'm not going to use these bolts. I'm going to use the originals. And let me see. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to do this side without dropping it, but we're going to try. Oh my god. Oh, just get in there. Yes. Fuck. Okay. That didn't work. It almost worked, but how do I retrieve this? This cable right here is a fucking pain in my ass. Come back home. Okay, we got it. Alright. This might not be the only time that we drop this. Let's try it again. Screws. Okay, it's in here. Alright, that's hand tight. Get these little needle noses out of here. We need to hand tighten this guy now. All the way. We're going to snug that like that. And we are officially done with one fuel rail. Oh shit, you know what this is in the way. I'm gonna have to grind it or bend it because it's hitting my cap. Alright, I think we can bend it maybe right here. Let's try it. If not, we might have to cut this out a little bit so it doesn't touch the cap. little sander's starting to come handy. Okay, moment of truth. Hey, look at that. It worked out. Alright, we can get our stupid wiring harness on there now. And it doesn't touch my little plug. Alright, so this can essentially go back on there. Oh man, no, don't tell me it doesn't fit now. There we go. Okay. I'm just gonna snug that up. Okay. That is in. I will have to keep an eye on this because if it ever leaks, I know where it's coming from. It's not a lot of pressure, but gotta worry about everything. Alright guys, so I have gotten pretty much everything that I could tie strap out of the way. This harness here, this hose, I just want to be able to pull this off cleanly without bumping into anything, because that's how you drop like O-rings and debris and other crap in areas that you don't want to. So all I gotta do for this driver's side rail is take off this bolt right here and this one, and we should be able to pull it right off. So we'll do that right now. Right here. There we go. Alright, we'll pull this off. Leave them up here. And let's gently wiggle this off. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Yes. Look at that. Ooh, ooh, fuck. God damn it, I did that last time. I wonder what's going on. Probably a car accident. Alright, we're gonna take a quick peek at the top of the valves, just to make sure everything is healthy. I don't know if you guys can see, and that looks nice and clean to me. Actually a lot cleaner than the other side. Let me see this one. Nice and clean. If you can see metal on the actual valve, that is extremely clean. Normally you just see black soot build up over time, like you see up here. Let's see this one. That looks good as well. What do you have on your beard? Huh? What's on your beard? Gross. Gross. And notice that all of the plastics are on the tops and bottoms. So same thing like the last one. There we go. There's one. let's try this again. Drop in. Alright, so the left side bracket is what I'm trying to sneak in back here so I can line these up. And success. Alright, we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Trying to just sneak them all in there. This little tie strap deal is fucking me. Okay. I need to see. There we go. So that little bit of lube makes things real nice. Like it literally slips in there in the pocket the way that it should. And if there's a little bit left, it'll finish working itself in once we get the bolts in. And just like the other side, we're not going to use the bolts that were provided. They're too long. But we are going to use the spacers, obviously, so let's do that. And then we'll just leave it there, and then hopefully our bolt will guide it in. You can get in there. You bitch. Alright guys, I'm struggling over here with one hand, so let me clip this back up. Might not get the best view, but I think you guys got the gist of it. Alright, now I can use. Alright guys, so all the connectors have to face out, because if you face them in, they touch the intake manifold just a little bit, enough for me not to be comfortable with it. So because of that, I have to move them all around. So I'm gonna have to take that fuel rail out too and double check 2 of the connectors. This won't clear the harness if I move it this way. So in order to make this work, I am just going to get rid of this this plastic and swap it out for a tie strap. Putting 2 tie straps, 1 on each side. Alright, everything looks good now. Alright, second try is the charm. And I left the spacers on there as well. See if I can get lucky. What's happening here? But alright guys, so I have 2 of the connectors facing towards the manifold, and I didn't realize this was happening. They clear fine when you first put it in there, but when you go to tighten the bolts, it puts pressure on the injector, and I don't like that at all. It'll eventually probably break because they get brittle. So we're just gonna pull the fuel rail out, and we're gonna turn these 2 our way so that all the connectors face this way. And now we know. We learned together as we went, at my expense. Alright, I have them all facing the right way. I put a little bit of tape on this spacer because I don't want to drop it back there. It was a huge gamble last time, so I'm hoping this will help. Okay. Direct port, that's in. And then these, I'm assuming, went like that. All right, and it's locked. And now we get the 90 in. That's in. And the feed in. There's the line for now. So I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do about that fuel line yet. I know that the way that it's set up right now, I'm likely not gonna be able to put the brace over it, or it's gonna be putting pressure on the whole setup. That's one of the, yeah, I didn't really think about the brace when I was putting that in. So regardless, the brace has to be off when I go and dyno the car again. So at least for now, I'm gonna leave it, and then I'll figure something else out that's a little bit cleaner and that allows me to put the brace on. The reason I want the brace on is because it has to be on because I added extra weight to the front of the car. So I think it's important to have it on to eliminate any potential flex on the front end with the extra weight of the supercharger kit. All right, I'm putting the driver injector module back in. I haven't done the passenger side yet. I'm gonna do that next. Just kind of buttoning up things as I see, in a way that it's not gonna be in anything's way. Okay, so everything's pretty much buttoned up. I have my bolts here for the wire raceway up here. My driver injector modules are back in, they're plugged in, they're seated correctly. I think I have all my plugs the right way, hopefully, fingers crossed. The only thing I have to do is I have to put back my intake tubing for the supercharger and the upper blow-off valve. I'm gonna do that later. First, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish installing the fuel pump booster, and once I do that, then what's next is swapping out the belt and the crank pulley for a larger crank pulley so we can crank up the boost on this guy.